During an appearance on Steve Bannon's show earlier this week, Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene went on a rant about how Dr. Anthony Fauci should be prosecuted for the role he allegedly played, according to her, for years and years and years, sending money to research facilities in China where she says they created COVID-19. And of course, that theory that this was a man-made virus is certainly picking up steam. It's not as, crazy as it once seemed. However, Dr. Anthony Fauci's involvement in that, that's a little more on the extreme side. But then what happened during this clip is that Marjorie Taylor Greene, as she's wont to do, took a turn and admitted that she doesn't quite believe in what she referred to as science. Take a look at Marjorie Taylor Greene off on a tangent for a moment about evolution. Here it is.
No, I don't buy it because I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe in that type of so-called science. I don't believe in evolution. I believe in God.
Yeah, she doesn't believe in that science of evolution. No, she believes in God instead. God did it all. Every single thing that happens, everything that is happening. And you know what, though, Marjorie? I have to question this a little bit. I'll get into the politicization of science in just a moment. But if you do believe that God is, in fact, in charge of everything, then why do you keep denying that Donald Trump lost the election? Right? Wouldn't that also be God's work? Wouldn't there essentially be no free will at all for anyone ever? All of it is whatever God wants to do with his little puppet people walking around here on earth. But I guess that's a conversation for another day. The big thing here is she doesn't believe in evolution. Nope, you can't convince her, even with the scientific evidence to support the theory of evolution. Nope, none of that matters. Evolution is fake and God is real, even though the evidence is, on the opposite sides there. Here's the thing, though. This is what drives me crazy about this. Because it's not just Marjorie Taylor Greene. Obviously, we have large portions of Americans, a lot of them, most of them, on this particular issue, on the right, who can look at science, learn about it, and still say, nope, God did it. We have, in fact, politicized science here in the United States, not just on issues of evolution, but evolution is obviously one of the more contentious ones for the last few decades, really. But another issue is climate change. The science is clear on that. Okay, there is very little dissent whatsoever among actual real scientists that aren't on the payroll of fossil fuel companies. But Republicans choose to reject that and tell us that it's not real, that it's not happening, even though all of the data, all of the evidence is right there for anyone to look at should they choose to look at it. But if you believe in climate change, you're on the left. You believe in evolution, you're on the left. Because science itself is political now, and it shouldn't be. That's the problem. It's not just a Marjorie Taylor Greene issue. It is a Republican versus Democrat issue because somewhere along the way, they decided we're going to reject science in order to pander to our base and to pander to our donors. And that's exactly what this denial of evolution is. It's their way to pander to the religious right. That's why they do it. And I have no doubt that Marjorie Taylor Greene, in fact, does not believe in science. I firmly believe she is a science denier. I don't think she's doing it for political points. I think she's doing it because, like so many Americans, she's been brainwashed for decades with these idiotic talking points. But when you see somebody looking at the data, looking at actual science, and straight up saying, nope, I reject that because my opinions are better, the only thing left to assume at that point is because they have something to gain from it. Throwing in this little tidbit about, I don't believe in evolution, that's her pandering to the religious right. Republicans going out there saying, I don't believe in climate change, that's them pandering to the fossil fuel industry so they can get more money for their campaigns. It's been happening for such a long time that it's become commonplace in politics today. And we can never make real scientific strides or even improve education in this country as long as we continue to politicize science.